Hi, my name is Micah. I am one of the co-founders of 12 Shot Studios. If that means anything, we're not making any money.
Why do you think events like this are important for student/indie filmmakers?
I think what I've told most people when it comes to the 48 is the interesting thing about it is it's going to squeeze you, and if filmmaker doesn't come out, you might need to rethink what you're doing with your major in your life. Not to say that it should completely just, steer you away from film, but it's one of those events where it's like we're going to put you in a corner and you got to think of narrative, you got to think of production value, you got to think of how to act, you got to do all these things that this is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life under these stressful conditions anyways. So it's one of those first glimpses into the dark void that you're about to enter in, and it's a fun experience all around, but it is that kind of scary, hey, if you're going to do this, are you going to be a filmmaker? Are you going to make something interesting and intriguing? And so I think it's beneficial for that reason.
What advice would you give to somebody who is attempting the 48-hour film challenge for the first time?
I wish somebody would have sat me down and given me advice my first 48. I think the biggest thing is don't overstuff your crew. Find people that are talented in the three main areas, which is going to be camera, which is going to be editing, and which is going to be like narrative and directing. Find three people that are crucial for those parts, and the rest just kind of ping pong and let it fall together. But if you have that like triangle of film, you're going to make something interesting in the end.
You have participated in the 48-hour film challenge before, correct?
Yes, sir.
So how would you say that your experience competing in past 48 challenges has influenced your view of collaboration, both specifically within filmmaking, but also collaboration as a whole in general?
The 48, what it has done, at least for me on my point, is you can kind of work with anybody. Like if push comes to shove, you can make a way for collaboration to be something that's beneficial. And if that person is so starch contrast to you and it's not gonna work, then that's someone that you can just kind of be like, all right, we don't flow in the same way, we don't kind of move in the same way. That doesn't pit us against each other, that just has us going in different directions. But what the 48 has taught me is, for the majority, you can find a way to really kind of have a fluid connection with one another after ping-ponging ideas and coming to a place where it settles in and you're like, okay, like you might see this differently, I might see this differently than you, but we can come together in a creative way and actually make something that's beneficial. Not to excommunicate, not to get your niches, not to get your clicks, but be open to working with anybody and everybody to make something that's gonna, be worthwhile.
Tell me about your favorite moment or like experience throughout your 40-hour film challenges.
Ooh. I literally tell everybody, like, my favorite times, like, being at GCU are doing the 48. So the whole moment is just fun for me. I think for my first 48, Burglars Effect, we spent hours forming this story because we had no idea what to do. So we had, like, the idea, we had, everything going into it. Push comes to shove, we get the prop, and then completely scrap the idea. So going into that I was a little like scared. I'm like, okay, so everything that we've learned about pre-production, throw it out the window. Now we just gotta like try to make something. And then I think the best moment from that 48 was actually getting to the end of it and sitting there, knowing that, we just made the longest one out of anybody. Ours was 12 minutes, and somebody literally told us, you better earn those 12 minutes. So we were like, terrified to death. And then just being able to watch our short, and then that moment where, I had the whole crew of people who read my script, did my script. So if we win or fail, it's kind of on me for the narrative that I was able to put forward there. And then, our name getting called, just that moment of release when you're like, okay, cool, this actually worked, this actually was something. And then just being able to go crazy with my friends was probably the highlight of that 48. But overall, I love every part of the 48. Sleep deprivation, Holy Spirit praying, the whole thing is fun.
How do you think that the 48-hour film challenge benefits participants creatively and or professionally?
In the creative aspect, like I said before, it puts you in a corner and it makes you think about how to just bare bones make something that works. When it comes to the professional route, the one thing that is really cool about the 48 is you come out of the 48 having a short film. With our other stuff like Cycle and Vagabond, the other things we've done, you have months of pre-production, putting all this work in, flying people to Arkansas in Vagabond's case. Like you have a lot of work going into it, and you come out of it and you still see the mistakes. You still see the punctures in the balloon. So with the 48, you have literally 2 days, and then you're given a short film. And if it's good, it's something you can utilize with just so much little time. So already you're building your portfolio, building your resume. You have something tangible that you can put on socials. You're promoting your brand. And so I think for that reason, it's really cool. Business wise, and also just you're getting more networking in, you're connecting with other creatives. There's people that I did not know were in the DFP program that I see at the 48. I'm like, oh, no way, this is so cool. Let's connect, let's work on something. And then going from there and actually working with them on another project is super huge.